The following program is a production of Pioneer Public Television.
Wow, this is high. Just getting to 50 miles was amazing.
Who got that one? You got that first shot on it, see again? Good shooting.
We know that the fastest growing section in the shooting sports today are women. So 10,000 kids. It grows faster than any other sport in the state of Minnesota. So it's had a huge impact.
The open prairie of the upper Midwest is home and a destination for people who love the outdoors. To hunt, fish, and enjoy outdoor recreation provided by our vast resources of lakes, rivers, trails, and grasslands. Here we connect with the natural world and leave the stresses of our daily lives behind. Hey everybody, welcome to Prairie Sportsman. I'm your host, Brett Amundson. And this week, we're out with young people who are leaving their smartphones behind to compete and recreate in the outdoors. From shooting trap to entering 100-mile-long endurance rides. Prepare to be inspired.
Funding for this project was provided by the Minnesota Environment and Natural Resources Trust Fund, as recommended by the Legislative Citizen Commission on Minnesota Resources, and by American Surplus, Ice Castle Fish House RV, Minnesota's largest manufacturer of premium portable ice fish houses, and a proud supporter of the annual February Ice Castle Classic Fishing Tournament. More information at icecastlefh.com. And by Live Wide Open, a regional movement that encourages people to make a great life for themselves in West Central Minnesota. More at livewideopen.com.
Out on the prairie, our rich heritage of outdoor sports and recreation is also our best hope for protecting the environment for future generations. When we connect to the outdoors, whether it's hunting or hiking, we have a vested interest in protecting natural habitats. Many of us have grown up outside, getting out to bike, fish, and explore as often as we could. Today, technology toys are replacing time spent in nature. In Minnesota, the percentage of residents who hold hunting or fishing licenses is double the national average. Yet, we're seeing a decline in these sports as young people leave rural areas where hunting and fishing is a tradition. Groups like Pheasants Forever are trying to reverse this indoor trend, and they're introducing young people to the joy of pheasant hunting. Pheasants Forever chapters around the country sponsor youth mentored hunts. For many, this is their first hunting experience. The Lac qui Parle chapter of Pheasants Forever leads a youth mentored hunt every year with a special permit from the DNR.
It's very important for us to get the youth involved. Hunting is something that more and more seems to be going by the wayside, and I think it's a great thing for us to get youth out and get them involved hunting and get them experience and enjoying the sport, and hopefully a long career of it in the future.
After instructing the group on the rules and guidelines of a safe hunt, Damian Coyer of Pheasants Forever leads them out to a field where about 30 ringnecks were released earlier. Pink flags have been attached to the birds so novice hunters know which ones they can shoot. Each youth is paired with an adult mentor who shares his knowledge of hunting and the outdoors.
Come on. Come on, help. Bring it here. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Here you go. Hey, hey. Good boy. Hey. No. Good boy. Who got that one? You got that first shot on it, didn't you, again? Good shooting. Dogs are looking good. Got a few points, but birds are sitting tight and nice wet cover, so make it a little easier on the dogs at least. I think they're having fun. Come on, go. Let's go. Come on, we're shooting. Good to hit him. Come on.
Early in the hunt, they already have 2 birds.
No. Probably have to skate around the edge here. There's going to be water in here now. Go. Come on. Come on. Go. Come on. Let's go. Hit him up. Shitter! Come on, no word.
That was a pheasant with a flag. It got up after we were standing here for about 5 minutes, and he just decided it was time to go, and he got away.
Go out and try another section and see if we can get a few more out and get the kids to shoot a few more, and I'm sure they're having fun doing it. So that's the main thing, is get them out and shoot and get them introduced into the outdoors and a little more hunting, and hopefully they're enjoying it.
The young hunters harvested 4 birds, and the Pheasants Forever members accomplished their goal: to create a positive experience that will inspire these young people to continue hunting and become our future conservationists. Not only teenage boys are learning to hunt. At the Governor's Pheasant Opener near Watson, Minnesota, young women showed up who are as eager to hunt as the guys, including Emmy Marrier and her dog Lux. Emmy, a 25-year-old marketing specialist with Pheasants Forever, started hunting when she was 15. Emmy was optimistic when the day started, as she had already had a good start to the hunting season.
I just got my first duck 2 weekends ago, first deer a weekend ago, and now I'm going for the pheasant.
The opener was Emmy's flat-coated retriever's first wild bird hunt.
Go. Come on, Fair Thunderbird. Come on, Fair Thunderbird. Rooster! Hope they shoot that sucker. Here it comes. Come on. They got it. Right there. Right out front he shot. We got one here. Got another point. Hold on. Rooster! Whoa, buddy. 2 of them down here. You gotta get them. Hey, that bird. That bird. It's right here. Good job, dog.
He stayed nice and close, listened really well. He had one hen flush, so that got him going. And now we just keep needing to get more birds under his nose.
It was amazing out there today because what you'd see are these flags that the dogs are wearing above the grass. And the flag would stop and you would see that one of these pointers would have one of these birds locked up, just tight. And then the bird would take off running, so you'd see that flag all of a sudden start weaving in the grass again, chasing that bird down, and then the bird would stop, dog would lock up again, flag would be sitting there just quivering, and then the bird would take off again, and eventually they'd catch up to it and it would flush. It was so much fun to watch today.
Jocelyn Landwehr, daughter of DNR Commissioner Tom Landwehr, was also preparing for her first Governor's Pheasant opener. At age 16, she is already hooked on hunting.
I've gone duck hunting, and I did shoot a duck. I got a mallard.
You went deer hunting.
And I went deer hunting, but I was kind of just there to watch and observe, so hopefully this year I'll be shooting too.
Jocelyn has been practicing with her shotgun for 3 years and joined her high school trap team, a sport that's surging in popularity. Today, more than 300 Minnesota schools participate in the Clay Target League. It's the second most popular high school sport in the state, running a close second to football.
You know, it's definitely a lot different than any other sport you can do. This is more of a competition against yourself. So I don't know if kids are preferring that over competition with teams or, you know, against others. It's against yourself. Also, it's different.
Well, anybody can do it.
Yeah,
right?
right.
And it's co-ed team, so the girls and the boys, you know, shoot on the same team.
Girls can be better than boys. Girls can be just as good as boys.
You don't have to be big. You don't have to be fast. You know, you have to have good hand-eye coordination, right. And
right. You don't have to be certain size.
And it's fun. You know, it goes bang.
On the Governor's Opener weekend, the Montevideo High School trap team demonstrated their skills at the city's brand new Mills Creek Gun Range, a 5-acre state-of-the-art facility. It was built, in part, to accommodate the trap team's expansion, which grew to 40 students in 4 years. The team's coach, Jan Payne, spearheaded the effort with help from a local landowner, volunteers, and donations.
I'm not a teacher, not an educator, I'm a farmer, but I know that if you participate in sports or other programs, you make new friends, you have more self-confidence, your grades are better, and we see that with our kids. We have had teachers come and say, well, you know, so-and-so, hey, that's our problem at the range, you let us deal with it, because we expect them to have their grades up, and we expect them to behave. All those school rules apply here too, and they know it, and they're out if they don't, and they don't want to miss it.
Jan has seen the positive impact on teenagers who may not have participated in a sport if it weren't for trap shooting.
I like just busting clays, just seeing the target explode. Every kid, if they want to, they can go to state. They don't have to qualify, so it gives a lot of kids motivational boosts about themselves. I have been to state. I got second out of our team.
What I really like about the program, it takes everybody. We have girls, and on our team I think we have about a dozen girls and boys, and the girls like it a lot, and I think they really find it fun to beat the boys, you know, because we think of this old boys club, but we know that the fastest growing section in the shooting sports today are women.
I'm also in volleyball, but I'd rather shoot guns than play volleyball. I just push myself. If I miss one, I can't miss any more.
Jim Sables is the man that started this. He was a retired marketing executive, and he saw that this decline in shooting sports. In his own club, he looked around and he said, all these men are retired and have no young people here. We had the same thing in town. I wasn't part of the Tri-County Sportsman's Club, and they all retired. The impact is that people are coming back to the shooting sports, right? So we've seen it grow from, I think Jim started with 2 schools and 30 kids, and now we talk more now about there's hardly any schools left in the state that don't have teams. You know, so 10,000 kids. It grows faster than any other sport in the state of Minnesota. So it's had a huge impact.
My name is Ian Olson. We are at the Upper Sioux Agency State Park in Granite Falls, Minnesota. We are in Yellow Medicine County, which is in the southwest Minnesota. The river behind me is the Minnesota River. Currently, there are possible problems with zebra mussels and Asian carp. 2 Asian carp individuals were found in New Ulm in the Minnesota River, about an hour drive from here. They have a potential to travel upstream and reach the Yellow Medicine area and establish a population. There is a problem with their ability to jump because it could cause injury to recreational boaters and fishermen on the waters, and they are filter feeders, so they can outcompete the native filter feeders and fish larvae. The closest known population of zebra mussels are in Lac qui Parle, about 40 miles north of here. The best ways to prevent the spread of aquatic invasive species is through clean, drain, dispose. Those 3 steps are the best steps that you can follow to make sure that you don't spread invasive species. Cleaning off weeds, any zebra mussels that you see, feeling to make sure that there's none on the hull that are stuck, and making sure your drain plug's pulled, live wells emptied, any water that you have standing in your boat is left at the water body that you're at, and by disposing any live bait into the trash.
This segment has been brought to you by the Aquatic Invasive Species Task Forces of Big Stone, Candy, Ojai, and Yellow Medicine counties.
Along the Tatanka Bluffs corridor of the upper Minnesota River, young women are training for one of the most strenuous outdoor sports in the country. The endurance riders and their horses take on challenging trails. Some are 100 miles long. The young equestrian riders coach is Sarah Moss, who owns the Fort Ridgely Equestrian Center. Sarah and daughter Dana Gassner offer horse boarding, riding lessons, and guided trail rides at nearby Fort Ridgely State Park. But 15 years ago, they went a step above a typical stable and started endurance riding. They are inspiring young women to join them on the trail.
We're just really fortunate to have these trails that are just beautiful for conditioning because we can get some hills in. We have the prairies where we can really pick up some speed, and we can do it without trailering our horses anywhere.
Last year, young riders Grace Steffel and Cassidy Weedhoff joined Sarah and Dana on the most strenuous endurance ride in the country, the Tevis Cup in California. The 100-mile trail must be completed in 24 hours, and only about half make it to the finish line.
For is about 3 years training, getting our horses in shape, slowly building them up and building ourselves up for the longer distances as well. I started doing endurance when I was about 12, 13 years old, and just ever since Sarah and Dana went out to Tevis, it's just kind of been a dream of mine as well.
The long trail goes from deep valleys with sweltering temperatures to snow-topped mountains.
Come on, keep moving, bud. Wow, this is high. Oh my goodness, I have no brakes right now.
13-year-old Emma Christofferson came along to help crew one of the 17 veterinary stations set up along the trail.
How's the ride going?
Great, thank you.
Awesome. 60 at 46.
The health of each horse is carefully monitored to make sure they are fit enough to continue. Dana, Grace, and Cassie completed about half the trail. Personal triumphs for them and their horses.
Just getting to 50 miles was amazing.
Sarah and her horse Opie finished in just under 24 hours, even with an unexpected twist at the end.
He did something which was pretty abnormal, but maybe normal for him because he's kind of crazy. He did a somersault 7 miles before the end of the ride, and he still was able to finish with all A's for his vet scores.
That crazy energy and drive to compete is typical of Arabians, the most popular breed for endurance riding. Sarah's Arabian is crossed with Appaloosa, another tough breed. Her more sedate horses are employed in riding lessons and trail rides. The Tevis Cup is the pinnacle event for endurance riders who need at least 3 years to prepare. Sarah and the young women she mentors train by entering other 25 to 100-mile endurance rides throughout Minnesota and in Montana, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. In September, they host their own endurance event at Fort Ridgely called Run for the Ridge that draws riders from the upper Midwest and Canada.
You put a lot of time and effort, and sometimes we don't always finish, but it's just still good. It's a good challenge. And I love being outdoors, so exploring all the different state parks and seeing all the different places you wouldn't normally see if you didn't have a horse or riding horseback is just really cool to see all the different trails.
The riders train with their horses at least 2 to 3 times a week. By the time they do a long-distance endurance ride, they are in peak condition.
So the ride today was a little interesting because the last ride that we did was pretty fast and he was feeling very, very good. I'm glad that I had my gloves on because he was pulling on me pretty hard.
One of the things that we do with the horses when we're done is to trot them out to make sure that they're still sound and healthy and happy doing what they're doing. And then we take their pulse. And if they don't have a recovery pulse, if it stays too high, then we know that we're working them a little bit too hard. And so it kind of gives us an indication of how much more we can let them do, because these guys want it. They were pulling on us the whole way today. They just want to keep going faster and faster. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes we don't want them to overwork themselves. It's really fun to have that partnership because we like to compete too. And to be able to compete with them and enjoy those trails together is just wonderful.
The Upper Midwest Endurance and Rides Association has several hundred members. The vast majority are women. Dana believes it's because most ride just to finish and don't care about winning.
Anybody can do it, so there's no discrimination as far as, oh, you know, you don't know this, oh, you can't do it. And so there's always room to improve, though, too, at the same time, and you're also competing against yourself. The endurance community as a whole, they don't go to get first place every ride. So the physical aspect of it, and that is the priority of riders, is one of the things that I absolutely love about our group.
We're really excited about bringing the young students into the sport because the actual average age of our endurance riders is about 55, and it is advancing every year. And we have people that are riding well into their 70s because it's a sport they can do and stay fit. It's a lifetime fitness thing, and you don't have to find a whole bunch of people to go out there and do it. You can do it by yourself, or you can do it with friends. They really learn confidence because they're managing, they're controlling a 1,000-pound animal, you know, and at speed, you know. And so it's really a confidence builder for the kids to do this. I can't think of a better sport.
You asked and we listened. I'm Amanda Anderson, Digital Media Specialist for Prairie Sportsman. The Q&A section of each episode is powered by questions from Prairie Sportsman viewers. Our first question was emailed asking, if deer can be registered via telephone, why can't hunters be surveyed at the same time?
My name is Adam Barkowski. I am the Big Game Program Leader for the Minnesota DNR. We need to make sure that we're doing those in a way that provides the department with really good statistical information, making sure that folks who generally wouldn't always take the survey are participating, and being aware that, you know, when you get a deer out in the field, you've got a lot going on, and that's not always the best opportunity to ask hunters a bunch of questions.
Question number 2. Why does Minnesota cater to non-native species like pheasants?
Nicole Davros, Upland Game Project Leader for the Farmland Wildlife Populations and Research Group.
Pheasants have become an important symbol of our intensive agricultural landscape and a species that many sportsmen and women love to pursue. Pheasant hunters are a core constituency for Minnesota DNR's wildlife management efforts. From 1983 to 2016, hunters generated nearly $3.5 million in revenue through pheasant stamp sales alone. The funds raised through these pheasant stamp sales are an important part of the budgets we have for conservation work.
Question number 3 was submitted via Twitter. How is mowing roadside ditches regulated?
Yes, I'm Scott Ramhelt, and I'm Grassland Programs Coordinator for the Minnesota DNR. The current statute in place regulates when and how roadside authorities mow rural roadsides, but it doesn't impact landowners. With the continued loss of grassland, roadsides play a very important role for grassland wildlife. They offer vital nesting habitat for songbirds, waterfowl, pheasants, and pollinators. They also provide crucial habitat for many species of small mammals. And because of that, the Minnesota DNR encourages people not to disturb roadsides from late April through August 1st.
Thanks for asking.
Have something to ask us? Email questions to prairiesportsman@pioneer.org or use hashtag AskPS on Facebook and Twitter, and visit our blog for more Q&A. Thanks for tuning in to Prairie Sportsman, and be sure to get outdoors this week.
Funding for this project was provided by the Minnesota Environment and Natural Resources Trust Fund, as recommended by the Legislative Citizen Commission on Minnesota Resources, and by American Surplus, Ice Castle Fish House RV, Minnesota's largest manufacturer of premium portable ice fish houses, and a proud supporter of the annual February Ice Castle Classic Fishing Tournament. More information at icecastlefh.com. And by Live Wide Open, a regional movement that encourages people to make a great life for themselves in West Central Minnesota. More at livewideopen.com.